Anyway, we're gonna go to bed soon. Big day tomorrow.
We're on the road to Santiago. We're on the road to find ourselves. Editing this video together, looking at this old footage, I gotta admit I really don't like this guy. Now, I'm not saying I don't like myself. I think there are sides of myself that I can love and respect. I'm a pretty good husband. I adore my wife. I try to be a good stepfather, a good step-grandfather to my grandkids. I think I'm at my very best when I'm with my grandkids. I'm blessed with a pretty good extended family. I'm blessed with good men in my life, my brothers, my cousins. I've got a lot of solid friends. I don't know why I don't like myself watching these videos. I think I did the Camino okay the last time. I don't think I was a terrible person on the Camino. I don't think I'm a terrible person now, but I don't like this face. I know my face too well, and I've certainly done a lot of soul searching in my life. It's something that happens when you've been sober for a long time. So I can look at my face and I know what's going on. I mean, I can tell the difference between my smiles in these two pictures. In 2021, I had been walking for 23 days, I think. And at that point in the Camino, I had found something. I'd found peace, and you can see the peace in that smile. In the 2022 picture, it was only my first full day on the Camino, and I'm arrogant, I'm cocky. That's the face when I think I've got a hustle going on. That's the face when I'm up to something, when I think I have it all figured out. I think I have my shit together. I really don't like that version of myself because he becomes narcissistic and cocky, and then he makes mistakes. He's about to make a mistake now. The title of this episode is also from Doctor Strange. I won't even explain the context because the meaning will be self-evident once you see it. I'm starting this video from the end. I'm in Molina Seca. Have a private room. Look, nobody's sleeping with me. I walked here from Rabanal. Kind of blew my body out. Body's needs some more nourishment for one thing, but it's needing a lot of rest tonight. So I'm glad I had privacy. I'm tired. We were off about 5:15 in the morning. Trying to get up to the cross before dawn. Should have changed batteries last night. Oh well. Very dark. Now we're about to go to the last light. So as we walk along, can't even really tell where we are. I've watched my own videos so much that I have this walk ingrained in my memory, so I'm sort of guessing based on how the terrain feels. But here's the first mistake I made. I set out walking with this guy on the left there, Bernardo. I met him in the albergue. I'm nothing wrong with Bernardo. He's a great guy, but he's young and he's fit, and I felt compelled to keep up with him, which sort of set the tone for the day. Recognizing these trees. There's a milestone just before we plateau. In my video from 2021, I devoted about 5 minutes of video to chart the 5.2 kilometers from Rabanal to Fontspedon. In this video, because it was so dark, you're getting less than a minute. We are in Fontspedon. You probably can't see on the video because it's still focusing, but this camera shows that you can see the sun trying to come up behind us. Crosses up that way. Not this one. Different one. Turn this off for a minute. I don't know if you can see me, but we're on our way. Sun is chasing us. I think I stood up here and commented how amazing it was last time. Beyond the furthest horizon was where I'd started walking. But the mound is right up there with the cross. Naked eye can see it. I'm not sure if the camera's doing it justice. Well, we made it just before sunrise. Look over there, the sun's just now, it's not even above the trees yet. A little overwhelmed now. Just have to think. Need to just sit and think. I promised yesterday I'd tell the story of Bob. Bob was a friend of mine. I made a video about him for my class reunion. I think I'll just share it here now. It all started in 1978 when I was riding the bus to school. Somewhere on Race Street, we picked up this cool guy named Bob Aids, who wound up sitting in the seat next to me. Bob was a little bit like me in that whenever he discovered something he loved, he couldn't stop talking about it. That fine morning, Bob had discovered what he called the scariest book of all time. And then he showed me his tattered paperback copy of The Shining by a guy named Stephen King. I think Bob pronounced it Stephen King at the time. Hell, we all did. Bob spent the whole ride to school telling me about The Shining. His enthusiasm was infectious. So after school that day, I jumped off the bus near downtown, and I walked over to Graves Drugstore, and I bought myself a copy of The Shining. That afternoon, I started to read The Shining, and within the first few pages, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to write stories. Anyway, in May of 2020, he passed away. We lost Bob due to cancer. He was one of the people I honored on my Camino a year ago. Bob Aids, a good friend from childhood. I am putting those, there's a bicycling painting behind him. He was a cyclist. I have mixed feelings about cyclists on the Camino, and so I'm trying to work through those feelings. But avid bicyclist. And on that Camino, I was so annoyed by cyclists. I don't like those guys. After that, I started to think of Eckhart Tolle, who has these audio meditations, and he has long moments of silence, and he rings a bell to bring you back to the present moment. And every so often you keep hearing that bell. And I realized the bells on the bicycles here are that bell bringing you back to the present moment. And in that way, that's how Bob, I think, appeared on my Camino and helped me along. He would have loved to have cycled this thing. It's a pity he never got a chance. More and more people showing up now. Had a good time with the people I met last night. But now I believe I must return to my solitary ways. It's pretty cold up here today, as hot as it's been. We say goodbye to the cross, and we're heading down the mountain. The wind was coming from the other side. It's already a little bit warmer now that I get over here. Pausing at a park bench to just think about things. It's about 8 kilometers to El Acebo, and then another 8 kilometers on to Molina Seca. I'm really tempted to call a taxi. My feet are hurting. I'm cold. I'm not feeling pleasant this morning, even though that's one of my favorite places. You can't be high every day. Yesterday was really good. All right. It sucks that the day going down there and that crazy drop that comes. It sucks that this would be a down day, but we can make it an up day. We'll see what happens. The problem I'm encountering is we got up early, and I basically followed Bernardo's pace the whole way up, and he walks a little fast. We didn't really stop to rest. So I was exhausted by the time I got to the cross. We had to stop to take my coat off because I was getting so hot. And then, I got cooled down. Then I got chilled. And I'm chilled now. My hands are Really kind of numb. Waiting for the sun to warm me up, but then I know it's going to get warmer down the road, and I don't know, I'm just feeling miserable today. Also, that chorizo I bought for breakfast was nasty. I'm gonna feed it to feral cats when I see them, I think. Off we go. Oh gosh. Oh, that would have been a fun video, me falling. There it is. The range we gotta work our way through. This cafe bar wasn't there last time. The old guy's place is around here, but I need a coffee. So fortunately, she has tortillas and cafe, so that's good. One thing I've discovered is that right in this area, there's no reception, even though I have a 4G Spanish SIM card. So I'm cut off from the world right here. Across there, had a nice cup of coffee. This is Manjarin. We're leaving it now. Sun's just cresting over the hill. This was more stressful. I think I'll be able to walk it. It was more stressful last time because I kept waiting for the drop and waiting for the drop. And when it dropped, it was dramatic for me, but I sort of know what's coming. I feel a little depressed this morning. But you know, being depressed on the Camino is not a bad thing. Probably just something you need to work through. Walking this Camino was the most therapeutic thing I've ever done in my life, I think. We are in El Acebo now. That's Oscar. I've been walking with him. Last year, that's where the famous kitty cat conversation, not mine, sorry. Famous kitty cat conversation was there last year. You comfortable? What a sweet girl. Or boy, whatever you are. Hi. Buen Camino. What do you think? I'm still debating whether or not to call a taxi. And it's only 8 kilometers left today, which is not bad. It felt like forever in 2021. So we're about an hour and a half past El Acebo, following Oscar through the last few legs of this treacherous walk. Decided not to show you much of it, mainly because I have to stop a lot to do it, and I just want to get to my albergue in Molina Seca. If you really want to know what it's like, there's a very detailed video on this channel. Here's that lovely terrain. Here we are, coming into Molina Seca. Not a moment too soon. So this little place, El Capricho de Valerie. Anyway, that's my room right up here. Exhausted. A lot of pain. Walk. It's because I got latched onto by a couple of younger hikers, and I felt compelled to keep up with them. So I didn't have time to stop or take a lot of video or rest. You know, because stupid old man thought he could keep up with the young folk. I am paying for it now in spades. Questioning whether I'm going to be able to make it to Villafranca del Bierzo tomorrow without taking a bus. We shall see. These are the mean streets of Molina Seca. I don't think I got video of this guy last time, so it's nice to get it this time. I intentionally waited till later to come out because I didn't want to have to deal with the depression of empty streets during siesta, but it's 6:30, almost 7. No one's out. That's a gentleman who feeds all the Zen masters, it looks like. Well, I am pretty wiped out and in a lot of pain. Right now, there's this part of my mind that says, there's no shame in tapping out. You did 3 days or 2.5 days, and then there's this other part of my mind that says, well, you came back out here to get a recharge, and part of the Camino experience is suffering and pain, and you've always known that. It's just a weird state to be in because my body is saying, you know, we only finished day 2. We're not up to our Camino rhythm yet. Whereas my mind is here and immediately feels like it is, what was it, day 24. Day 24 when I crossed over and saw the cross. At that point, my body had adapted to the Camino, and I just flew over that mountain, it seemed. So the mind, you know, drop me here. The mind is in day 23, day 24, having fun. And then the body's saying, wait a minute, we're only in day 2. Physically, this is where we are. And I have to reconcile that. A little bit of my steak. Sorry, the cat. You know how I feel about cats. A Zen master. It's good karma, especially. You're hungry, aren't you? You are hungry. 2 of them now. And you know, I think I saw both these guys when I was walking through Molenseca last year. Hey, what's up, buddies? Hi, guys. Black kitties are good luck. You look a little hungry. Possibly.